Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 61 of the Game Changers. I have two wonderful guests tonight, but before I go with that, I want to say something that I'm really proud of. Tomorrow, I want to share a remarkable story about my daughter. She recently demonstrated an extraordinary bravery and quick thinking by saving someone's life from drowning. Her actions not only reflect her courage, but also her compassion and selflessness. Tomorrow, she will be honored with an award for her heroic deed. This recognition is a testament to her character and the values we hold dear as a family. I'm incredibly proud of her and grateful for the positive impact she has made. I want to celebrate her bravery and the difference one person can make in the world. Thank you, Kasia. And she wants to say hi. She's here tonight. She wants to say hi for everybody. So, hi, everybody.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're so
Good for
excited
you.
about that. And I can't be more proud of this. She started her journey as a swimmer, and now everybody knows that she plays rugby. And this is her third year in college. You want to say anything?
I don't know. I don't know what to say, but yeah, thank you.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you for
That's
saving
awesome.
someone's
Thank you.
life.
Yeah. Great
Wow.
job.
That's amazing.
Great
Yeah,
job.
so proud of her. So I want to welcome everybody to the Game Changers. I'm your host, Carla. Tonight's episode features Jemo the Icon and Philip Stone, who with expertise, knowledge, and experience will provide valuable insights. We will engage in thought-provoking discussions on various topics, so stay tuned for an enlightening show. I would like to express my gratitude to Evan, Iggy, JC, and the whole TSA team for their support in creating this platform for meaningful conversations with leaders and innovators in our community. Join me as I explore the stories and insights of our guests, especially in the realm of fantasy football and life itself. The Game Changers foster a unique community, and I'm privileged to share the journey with all of you this evening. Who is Jemo and Philip? So they first met in August 2003 while working as bellhops at the downtown Chicago hotel. They shared an experience and mutual interest, quickly turned into best friendship. Early on, they ventured into the world of online broadcasting, creating a podcast called Donkey Punch Radio, long before podcasts became mainstream. Philip, who was also part of the band Sanawan, dedicated a lot of time to putting the show together on their website. Meanwhile, Gemma was involved with his band Rock LaRue.
Wow, you said it right. Look at that.
About 13 years ago, Jemo moved from Chicago to Boston, while Philip relocated to Harlem, New York, before eventually returning to Chicago. At the height of the pandemic, with both having more time on their hands, they launched the Icon Show. This new venture quickly gained a cult-like following, with weekly episodes for over 3.5 years. Due to their current schedules, they now release new episodes once a month. The Icon Show has features a diverse range of guests, including fantasy football enthusiasts, artists, and various other personalities. Despite their electric guest list, they have never delved into sports discussions. You can explore their expertise catalog on YouTube. So let's see, Jemo and Philip, how are you guys tonight? And we're too cool for you, but I have like
Wow.
this too.
Very nice. Very nice. That's beautiful.
That
Beautiful.
was the
Carla.
best introduction I've ever received. Thank you, Carla. That was awesome.
I think that's
Thank
the only
you.
introduction we've ever received, but it was beautiful. Thank you so much.
It's also the best. Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyone
Definitely.
that comes next is not going to be as good as that. That was
Never,
awesome.
never.
Of course not.
the one of ones right there.
And you got
You're the last for the year, so you are the best of the best.
oh well.
Hey, all right, we got some bar set very high for us, Philip. Can't disappoint tonight, buddy.
No, we know this is going to be the best YouTube presentation of the year, not just on this channel, but on any channel. Like we know that the magic is here between the three of us. This is going to be electric. I'm very excited. Thank you so much for having us, Carla. Thanks for that awesome intro.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So, Jemo, you want to start? How did it all started from bellhop to YouTube channel?
So, there were some parts missed. I didn't really give you the full information because I wanted to save it for a slide tonight. Honestly, I hated Philip for the first maybe month or two that I got to know him.
It was mutual, yeah.
I just did not care for him. I thought just so bad of him that
what did you think? You thought what nationality did you think I was?
I thought he was like from France or some kind of stuck-up French guy or something.
Why not? Why not, Philip?
Yeah, nothing against the French. There's some fine people, but Philip.
Jemo, tu parles pas le français. Come
on. He just exuded that I don't know, that aura about him. But I've later grown to very much love that aura about him.
That's amazing. Philip, you have something to add to that?
Yeah, no. If you've ever met Jemo in person, you can't tell right now, but I was immediately repelled by him. Like I saw him, he was interviewing with our boss. I was already working there. So he was like coming into like my turf where I felt like kind of the alpha dog. And I saw him interviewing, and Jemo was just, even back in 2003, like everyone's covered in tattoos now.
Yes.
But back in 2003, that meant like, oh, you think you're really cool? Like you've been to prison or something? Like he had all this ink all over him. And I was like, who the hell does this guy think he is coming into my turf? And he and I just did not click for a while.
And he was supposed to train me. Not that there's much involved in training on how to lift luggage and go to a room and drop it off.
No, this is exactly why you were not as good of a bellman as me. That attitude. Because there is a lot
circles around you.
There's a lot of good tips I had for you, and you just weren't listening.
I ran circles around you, buddy. No.
Okay, so Jemo gave me a tip on the side, Philip, and he told me to ask you about Rose from Harlem. Care to share a little bit about Rose?
Oh, absolutely. I love to talk about Rose. We, my wife and I, in New York, this is like the height of the pandemic, like 2021, like pre-vaccine, I think. We were really losing our minds. And my wife fostered a dog from the ASPCA in Queens. And we got this senior blind dog that was like missing teeth. Like there was like no animals in the shelter because everyone was freaking out in New York and they just like wanted companionship. So like everything was like, and the only thing was left with this was a senior blind dog. Yes.
Yes.
Ryan, I haven't seen this guy in forever.
Yes. What's up, kids?
It's been over a year. Ryan,
you're talking about Rose right now. You don't have your glasses. Come on.
I don't do the glasses. But I do have a Christmas hat. I'll get that in a minute.
Yes.
Because Carla, thank you for having us, by the way.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate that. Sorry for being late. I had to juggle a lot of shit. But yeah, I'm here and continue. Philip, I know it's been a while. This is great.
It's good to see you, man. Happy holidays.
Yeah, I gotta put the volume up here. Let's see what we got here before I.
That's awesome.
Great.
So
Philip,
we're listening to Philip.
I'm getting good at this, Philip. Come on, that's it.
You're getting good at this. So we fostered this senior blind dog, and as we walked her around Harlem, we lived in Harlem, which is a very crowded neighborhood. And watching a blind dog just kind of like walk and navigate the street, she had so much confidence, and which was strange because she should have had none because she kept walking into like everything and people and walking into like storm drains. Like she's a nightmare, but she just walked so confidently. And I was like, there's something really compelling to me about this. So we started filming her and just putting it on YouTube with like pop music playing behind her, because she kind of walks with a strut and it's kind of musical. And that's a thing I've just been obsessively doing on YouTube for the last 3 years.
That's amazing. Wow.
And if you want to watch a 2-minute video of like a blind dog walking through the Lower East Side of Manhattan while listening to LCD Sound System, that's there for you. Like it exists. It's a very small cross section of society that cares about those two things. But if you're part of that Venn diagram, then there's something for you there. Rose from Harlem. Rose, my beautiful blind dog.
Yes.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch that. Or you should tag me. I know that you're on X, right? Or Blue Sky. Just tag me on one of them at the Game Changers. I would love for everybody to watch it. So, Jemo, Philip was telling me something as well. So he wanted me to ask you about the staff when they voted for you guys. Who is the better looking and who won by 1 vote only?
I think Philip may have this a little confused, I think, on his end. I won by a landslide. I maybe like 3 or 4 votes tops, but I definitely won. I think some people only voted for Philip because they felt sorry for him because
Philip!
Back then, I'm 20 years ago, Carla, I didn't have all this here. I looked a little more, about 30 pounds, 40 pounds lighter. So didn't have my baby fat coming back, but it was, I was a stallion, Philip.
I love the baby fat.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm still good looking, Philip. I'm still good looking.
You are. You're well deserving of second place. You're very handsome for second place.
Oh, you.
But Philip's got hair. So, well, actually, you do.
I've got some hair too, buddy.
You guys got the salad. I don't. So,
Brian, we would have been in trouble,
bro. I got the. Look at this, Santa. Look at this.
Yeah. If Brian had been on staff, you and I would have been toast.
Yeah.
I can't. Philip, do you agree with that? What do you think?
No, I remember. I don't, but I'll give him his space. I remember exactly what happened. We got to like almost a tie vote, and then this girl who had a crush on Jemo, her name was Maria, and Jemo wouldn't give her the time of day, and she got like so pissed at him. She's like, "Screw you! I'm voting for Philip," and I won by 1 vote because she was in love with him, but he wouldn't pay attention to her. So I got her vote. So I don't care. Politics matter.
I honestly completely forgot. I did not lose. I had her heart. That's what I had. Okay. You can keep the vote, but
he might have lost her vote, Philip, but he still had her heart. So,
but we were young 20-something-year-old guys who just stood on our feet all day and like carried heavy shit around. So we were pretty. It's not like what you see today. We were a little slim. We had good metabolism, and
you are still good looking. Come on, stop! Stop that!
This is a mirror. Everybody here tonight, we should feel good about it.
We're all beautiful, Philip. We're all beautiful.
You are so handsome. You're good looking. You're still in your 20s, Philip. I can attest to that. You all still in your 20s. If you're in the 20s, I'm 18. So you're fine with that.
Thanks, Carla.
So tell me, like how this journey all started. I don't know if Brian, you want to start with that because you just popped in. Tell me how all this journey started with all of you guys.
Oh, well,
and what connected you together?
Well, first of all, Jemo and I worked together at the establishment for many years, and I'm going to defer this after I speak with Philip and Jemo. But Jemo, I got a text message from. This is what happened back. This was a pre-COVID thing, So I was out at dinner, and I got a text message from Jemo, and he had the logo Jemo the Icon. So I'm thinking, didn't even think about podcasts or anything. I'm like, oh, I go Jemo. I thought like he got a band together. So I'm like, dude, are you like playing music? Like you? And he's like, no. Me and Philip are starting this podcast. And I'm like, oh. And then COVID happened, and I posted a video on Instagram about how, like, all right, nobody's going to work. And I did a beard video where like a couple of my buddies were like, no, we're not going to shave because we don't have to go to work. And then Gemma was like, hey, listen, you got to be on this show. And I'm like, okay. And then from there, it just like, tidal wave just came through. And then these guys started Jemo the Icon show. So I'm going to let you two discuss how it really happened. I mean, in my eyes, that's how it happened. I don't know what these two were conspiring at the time, but essentially I thought Jemo got back into playing music and was playing. And I'm like, oh, that's great. You're going to play in Boston, man. I'll get out of work. I'll shoot up and see you. But lo and behold, this is what it is.
This is the band. This is the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the new rock and roll.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I get with to kind of piggyback on Brian, but going before Brian, Philip and I think we were always very good creatively together. I don't know. Me and Philip, when we hang out together, good things happen either for other people or just something bad happens between us. One of the two, but it's mostly good stuff. And I was, yeah. So this idea, it was there was a seed planted already for it, but then COVID happened, and I was sitting in an empty, like 600 person hotel room one day. I was manager on duty, and there was just me and another front desk agent. We were only open just for like first responders. Nobody else can come in, so it was two people in that hotel. And split off shifts and everything. So I got really bored. Like I cleaned and organized as much as I could, any areas I had access to. And I just got really bored and I came up with this idea and I said, Philip, let's just do this. And I'll let Philip take it from here, I guess.
Here's what I remember. I recently moved to New York, and then my wife had the brains of imagination. Thank you. I don't know what that means. I think I know what that means. And I was in Miami. My wife was at a work event, and I tagged along. I didn't have anything to do, and I rented like one of those city bikes, like one of those like little rented bikes. And I was riding the bike from Miami to Miami Beach, across those bridges to like that little island. If you've ever been down there, it's very beautiful. And then Jemo called me while I was riding this bike, and I was in Miami Beach, like kind of walking the bike, talking to Jemo, and he was like, "I want to do a show again," like because we had done this radio show or podcast, Donkey Punch Radio. Don't Google Donkey Punch.
No, don't do that.
So it was a bad idea to name our show that. But he was like, I want to do a thing again, but like, I want to do it on YouTube. Like I've seen some versions of this. And I remember I was like walking and I like kept passing these dive bars. It was like noon. And I was like, I want to go in there. But like Gemma was talking to me and he's like, let's do this thing. Then COVID happened. And then I was unemployed. And I was like, let's do this. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Like I don't know. We've never done video stuff, but let's give it a try. We did a few episodes. It didn't really have any form or function or like point of view. And then there's one
no
day
form or function to it yet either.
I think there is a little more. And then like
Maybe.
we were like, we're going to go on live tonight. Like, what should we do? And we just said, why don't we just write down our 10 favorite fast food items
Oh, wow.
we like and like, let's see if that's a thing. And this is the first time we had Brian on the show. We'd had a few shows
Right.
before that were just kind of aimless. It shouldn't have been recorded. There was like there was nothing interesting about it. It was just like people hanging out, but we recorded it. But then we had Brian on. We had our lists. Everyone did like the research. They put their 10 favorite fast food items. And it turned out everyone was like really passionate about fast food. And we're like, oh, this is like a good place to start. Like, this is a thing we can talk about and we can laugh about and commiserate, like when we have like overlap. And I think it was like a 3-hour show.
It was, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It was quite some time.
Like we couldn't end it.
Hours.
Yeah, but
That's
during
amazing.
COVID though, we could do that because it was like if people were watching for 3 hours, and it was like, all right, well, yeah, you can go on Netflix and do something, but people were just like, and then we kind of had to scale it down. We had to scale it down to an hour because it was just at the point. But COVID, really the steam that it got was kind of because of COVID. I mean, we were like, during the height of COVID, it was every Tuesday, by the way. We were doing it every Tuesday at 9 during COVID. And, our jobs, we could do it. Now things are back to normal. And, things are, your job's taking over, family, this, that, and everything else. And but at that point, like it was, and even still to this day, people are like, oh, Bri, you still doing your podcast? I'm like, yeah, we're doing it from time to time. And they're like, oh, no, you guys should still keep doing it. I'm like, well, yeah, we're trying. But when COVID happened, I mean, it was actually, Jemo and I would throw out a lot of promotion ideas. And it was almost like we switched our regular jobs to this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were doing videos, we were coming up with material. I mean, it got like, all right, yeah, this is a job. It was, a lot of work, a lot of hours. What are we going to do? We did from the sports aspect. Remember the drafts? We did some good drafts. We did everything, Carla. We did everything we did sports related draft, but we took sports like you would draft like your number one receiver, this, that, and everything else. We did a potato chip draft. We did what was the one the animal draft? We did, I mean, we did a candy draft. I mean, it was just like candy draft. Weird stuff. We would do like
worst ways to die.
What's that, Philip?
The worst ways to die.
Oh my, yeah. And
oh my God, you kidding me, Philip?
Yeah.
We got morbid. Carla, you gotta go. You gotta look at Jemo and I's Instagram feeds. We did some videos. Oh, the worst ways to die. Oh my, yeah.
Oh, the male grooming syllabus episode.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that one up because well,
that's crazy.
Well, you can look at the male grooming syllabus.
I mean, if you go back in the YouTube archives on the show to early pandemic 2020, there's stuff there that will ruin. It'll like ruin your week. Like, there's stuff there that's like really upsetting.
Sniper Nal, she's saying that she remembers that when you had no power and Wendy and Bob took over.
That's right. I went to visit Chicago and I was with Philip. I was sitting literally right next to him in that room to his right. And Philip's power went out. And we had, Wendy was on the show, Bob Harris, who's like a huge get for us because it's fucking Bob Harris, And of course, Wendy, love her to death.
Yes,
miss you, Wendy.
I agree.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It definitely was. Well, the grueling part of it, though, Carla, and I'll tell, and I think Philip knows and Brian knows too, but never really discussed too much of it. Is it like after we kind of somewhat had something going, a little traction, I guess, and we weren't looking for anything huge or big. We weren't looking for that kind of thing. That wasn't our scene, I guess. If people watched, great. If they didn't, who gave a shit? We were having fun. that's all that mattered to us.
That's
But it got to a point where getting all these guests every single week was literally a 40-hour, 50-hour week job, because you're constantly contacting different people and trying to work out good dates that work for them and work for us. And I mean, it's so tiring. And Philip has now kind of taken over that role with even just doing more of the promos for us or anything like that, even though we're on once a month versus every week. But it's kind of this huge weight lifted off my shoulders, It was so fun, though. Don't get me wrong, to interact with everybody. And we've met some really cool people through this, and we've met some really shitty people. Pardon my language. Can you swear on here? I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
you can.
All
It's fine. It's open to everything.
It's all right. I just want to make sure. I don't want to overstep my boundaries here. It's not like
no, you're fine. Have fun. It's like you're talking to a friend, so we're fine.
Okay.
Tell me, why Jemo the Icon?
I don't know. It kind of looked cool. It looked cool, I guess, on that logo that I first sent Brian. And I've even gotten icon tattooed on my knuckles there.
I love
fingers.
it.
And yeah, we've had T-shirts and we got stickers still. I think we got a whole line of merch. I mean, or we did have a whole line of merch with lighters and everything. I just thought the logo looked really cool. I don't know. If I can change it, I would just call it Philip the Icon, we kind of changed the name a little bit, because in the beginning it was Jemo the Icon Show, or however, or the Jemo, whatever it is. Now it's just the Icon Show, which I like a lot better. So yeah.
So can you tell me, I don't know who wants to start, a little bit about your fantasy football journey? How did it all started, and what brought you here with all the fantasy sports community?
I think that's probably 90% me on that question.
Yeah.
Brian, maybe a little bit. Philip. Well, Philip actually does fantasy basketball, but nice. I'll give a brief rundown of mine, and you can go around the circle here if you'd like. Yes. I've been doing fantasy football, strictly football. I tried baseball maybe 1 year and just couldn't do it. I couldn't keep up, because football in itself is a everyday job. You got to keep track of players and their injuries or updates, anything, any roster moves and stuff like that. So I found that very soothing and entertaining for myself. So I like doing that. I've been to the Fantasy Football Expo twice, hoping to go back soon. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Bob Lung does a tremendous job out there, and it's just growing every year. So kudos to him. Yeah. But I definitely have to get back out there. And yeah, I'm a fan of it.
When you go.
I'm hoping in 2 years, because next year I have some plans to go to Vegas. Okay. And I can get one me trip a year, according to my boss, the boss lady. So
how about anybody else with fantasy football?
Fantasy?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I just, full disclosure, I haven't watched a football game in maybe 15 years.
Not even the Super Bowl.
I can't remember. I think
you have.
There's some photos from a time like that. Jemo invited me to a Super Bowl party at our friend Mike Brown's house. But I think that was like, Jemo's gone.
We lost Jemo. He will come back.
It was so long ago. I just have never. It's just never connected with me. But I will say that in doing this show with Jemo, I've interfaced with a lot of people who are really passionate about fantasy football, like yourself, Carla, and I like these people. Like,
thank you.
I think you're like a really cool person, Carla. I think JC's awesome. I think Sniper Mel, who's in the comments, is awesome. Like, there's so many people. Like, there's like hundreds of them. Like, I've made like tribute videos that like we air on our channel of like all the guests we've had, and so many of them, they're their product, their output is fantasy football based, and they've just been gracious enough to like kind of step out of that framework onto our show, be like, what I'm comfortable talking about is fantasy football, but I will come over here and talk about like my favorite 80s TV sitcoms with you. Like I'll step out of my comfort zone and just like do something weird. And all those people have been awesome. So like I may not engage with the actual football, but I still love the community. Like y'all are really cool people and really open. So that's my thing.
Well, yeah, like to piggyback off that, Philip, like, yeah, like, I mean, football season is from September to, well, fantasy football is from September to January and that, well, end of December and that's it. Like, yeah, I mean, after that, like, like people do like to go to a movie. People do like to go out and get a pizza. And we do like a pizza, like, what's your favorite pizza? We did a pizza episode, like, people have lives outside of fantasy football. And like Philip said, we brought, like, that was the common ground. We brought those people in, but yet we talked about other things besides fantasy football. Now, for myself, like, I'm in 3 leagues right now. And one of them last year I cashed. It was a minor one, but now this week it's the playoffs, and I know, Jemo, you're in the playoffs this week also. But I have two scenarios this week. One league I'm out of, so I'm like, yeah, all right, doesn't matter. But the league that I've been in for almost 20 plus years, we do a thing, and it's kind of a great thing. We have a playoff bracket where you play for the championship, you play for the purse, the money. And then the final 4 teams are in what we call the toilet bowl playoff. And you don't win to advance, you win to get out. So you got to win, like in the playoffs, you win to go to the next round. In the toilet bowl, you got to win to get out because the last person standing has to buy the beer at next year's draft.
Wow.
So I am in that this week. And it's me, it's the 12th seed, and I'm the 11th seed. And I have to win this week. If I don't win, I have to buy the beer next year.
For everybody?
Yeah, 12 guys. And it ain't a matter of, and I had to do it once. It's usually, it's about $100. It ain't a matter of that. But then you start getting the text messages, you get the chirps like, oh, well, Brian, I don't want Bud Light. I want Heineken. And then they make you go to this microbrewery and find this stupid beer. And I'm like, all right, listen, I'm not going to 5 different stores to buy beer. But so you get the chirping and it's the whole bantering and it's all like, yeah, you lost. So that's one. So this Sunday, I got to win to get out of that. But I'm also in. Now it flips from how you draft or whatever happens. I'm also in a championship league where it's the semifinals. And if I win this week, I go to the finals. And we paid a lot of money for that one. So that one is a pretty good payday. So needless to say, I have 2 games this week where I can either make money or I can not make money, or I have to buy beers and also pay for the purse again next year. So yeah, this Sunday is going to be don't bother me this Sunday.
Jemo, Philip, and I are going to have some drinks too.
Yeah.
If you didn't
Rounds all around, buddy.
Okay. All right. Well, send me a text and I'll get you your favorite drink. If I lose.
Oh my God. I hope you don't lose. But if you lose, we are part of it too. You need to know that.
Well, if I lose, I'll make sure.
So Brian came a little late. And I don't know if everybody knows a little bit about him. So do you like work for CBS Sports for some reason? Like you have a strong presence at CBS?
CBS?
Yeah or no? I was trying
Yes.
to search you online because you guys didn't give me a lot of information. So
Brian's an unknown guy.
When I searched your name, they told me you have a great presence with CBS Sports. Just letting you know that this is your name. Anyway,
Maybe that's why he hasn't been on our show in a while.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean,
He's getting the big bucks over there at
I gotta check my bank statements. They're not paying me, so I don't know.
Yes.
Give me the money. What did Bogart always say, Philip?
give me
money.
Give me money.
CBS, give me
GMM,
money.
give me money.
So, Brian, you enjoy a diverse range of activities. You have a background in advertising as a graphic designer, and currently you work as a bartender at a private golf club. In your leisure time, you are passionate about working out, watching sports, and exploring new restaurants. You also cherish the simple pleasures of life, such as sunsets and long walks on the beach.
That was a joke.
Really?
Those are great things, man.
But that's not a joke for me. I mean, you told me that. So here you go.
Sunsets
Like a
are
little bit
awesome.
about you, Brian, because I talk about Jemo and Philip, and I didn't share anything about you. Jemo, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you. Carla, can you ask Brian who his favorite actress is?
Okay, Brian, who's your favorite actress?
And author. You have a book signed by her.
Oh, Lisa Ann. I was gonna say Luke Ferrari. Yours?
Oh wow, you kidding me? She was at the show.
Yeah.
Who?
You know that, Lisa Ann.
She's like huge in like fantasy football.
Yeah, she's got a sports podcast or something.
She was on the show not a long time ago. She's an amazing person. She's so down to earth. I love her so much. Yeah. I didn't know too much about her before the show, but yeah, I know. So much.
Hey,
well, be careful, Google. Be careful Googling her.
I did Google. But she was on the show. So she told us a lot.
Yeah. No,
she's amazing.
She's great.
Yeah, she is. She's really amazing. I really love her. So this is a good choice, Brian. So let's talk a little bit about, your artistic journey. So can you, I'm going to start with Jemo. Can you tell me, how did you get started with your artistic career and what keeps you motivated?
I come from a pretty big musical background with my family. My mother played an accordion in this like very like big poppy band back in the former Yugoslavia. My dad is still a singer and he still performs to this day. And he's got like 10 records out. Yeah. So yeah, he's still doing it. And I never really wanted to like follow in his footsteps or anything like that, but it just kind of happened that way where, I got involved with, playing with some really cool friends of mine. And, we played some pretty decent shows and a lot of big venues in Chicago and some through the Midwest and everything. And, it died down after that though, because we were young and, getting out of our teens there. So it kind of stopped, and I always had this like artistic side to me, and that's how we started Donkey Punch Radio, because I always liked doing something. I always had to be creating something new, I guess. So yeah,
that's the creative side of you. How about you, Philip? You as well. You had something in music.
Yeah, I'm a drummer. I've been in bands most of my adult life. I met my wife from playing music. I auditioned to be her drummer. She's a singer-songwriter, very talented, and I was fortunate enough to like got into her orbit, and then like we toured a lot when I was a really young person, and then we got married, and so that was like really awesome. And you reach a point when you're like playing music, like you don't get famous, like no one does, only a few people do. You just can't do it anymore. Like you you're touring and like you get a cold on like day 3 of a tour, and then you're like sick for like 3 weeks while you're like living in a van and sleeping on people's couches, and like you can't get healthy. It just sucks. It does. And you're lucky to have done it. And then you come home and you try to get like a regular job, which is what I did. And then you like in the margins, you try to find creative outlets for yourself, things that you can do like in the margins that don't take up all your time, but like ignite that part of your brain. And that's like what I found with Jemo. That's what I found with Brian. Like things that are fun, that are creative, that we can just do from time to time while we're also like out there grinding out, like paying our mortgage and just like doing our lives. And so, and you want to do it with people that like you want to spend time with, and like Jemo and Brian, and frankly you, Carla, are people that I like spending time with. It's like fun, and I'll take the time out of my day between like the grind of my 9 to 5 just to be like, let's still tingle this part of my brain that is excited about like doing creative things. And I like this show that we do because when I know a show's coming up, I'm like, we need to think of a thing that we are all excited to talk about. And that's a crazy hard thing to come up with like week after week. And like, you really have to like write things down and like think about it and come up with new ideas. Like, do we want to talk about like who we want to murder? Like, no, that's a terrible idea. Like, we can't do that. And then like you push that aside and you think of the next thing and be like, what's my 5 favorite desserts? And it's just like, I don't care about cheesecake. And you throw it aside. And then like when you land on the thing that everyone's excited about, it's kind of electric. So that's what's been fun for me in this journey.
But this is life. Like, you are sharing life, everyday life, and people love it because this is what it is. You are talking with each other like you're talking to anybody you see. So people love this. You know what I mean? Like, they do appreciate
That's great. Yeah.
honesty, and they do appreciate, talking about the food, talking about something that they do care about, and they talk about it every single day. So and I think that's why you guys are genuine, and that's why it's so successful. And like, it shows from here. I never met you in person, and I'm in love with each and every one of you. So
thank you.
It's
Awesome.
amazing. So Brian, how did you fit into the whole thing? Like, from advertising, business, graphic designer, bartender, into all of this? How did you fit into it? Do you play music as well, or no? It's totally different.
I mean, we all have a part on the show, and like, Philip and Jemo, I mean, they have musical talent, which I have zero. I mean, I appreciate music. I mean, I like a lot of music, and I appreciate what they do, and it's awesome what they did. But for me, like, what I could contribute to the show is the artistic, like the visual, like the graphics. That was my forte. I could produce that, and everybody had their part, and like the booking thing and stuff like that. Jemo did a lot of it. Philip did a lot of it. But that's what I could contribute in. Between all of us as creative minds, that's we came up with the perfect scenario of the show.
That's amazing. It's the perfect combination between all 3 of you. And Doug is saying that he doesn't appreciate that I love you all, but deal with it.
Well,
it's
and this is the thing, like getting back to like, and when we were going every week, every Tuesday night,
yes,
we were racking our brains for content, and we would have a group text, and we'd be like, what about this? What about this? And honestly, there were times where the 3 of us didn't like, there was some, topics that we were like, all of us were like, yes, yes, yes. And then to all 3 agree, yeah, maybe one of us didn't. And you know what it was? I found that even if it wasn't a certain topic that I probably was like not 100%, once we got rolling with the show, it just came like euphoric. It was just like, even if it wasn't, we figured out a way to just make it funny, make it work. And then it all came out in the end. So it was like, there was a lot of things, yeah, we disagree with, but it was just like, all right, you know what? We're gonna do this. And it was just like, and we just sometimes, well, most of the time made fools of ourselves, but it was fun, and our viewers enjoyed it. They were like, oh, look at Brian. He's very uncomfortable with this theme, but he's just rolling with it, and he's making a goof of himself, and it's just enhancing the show. So that's what we did.
I think
And
people want
there was times when one of these two guys were like, well, what about this? And I would like hit send right away, and I'd be like, yes, this is awesome. And then a lot of times Jemo and I would have ideas, and Philip was like, no, you two we can't do this. And me and Jemo were like, no, we want to do this. And Philip was the good cop, we were the bad cop. He's like, I don't know about this. Philip and Jemo and I would go along with a lot of we needed Philip to like rein us in a little bit. I mean, we could, it was up to me and Jemo. YouTube would like never see us again.
So I see the passion, and I hear the passion from all three of you about the show. And I know that it's going just once a month right now. What's the upcoming projects that you want to do, especially that people in the chat, they miss the show, they miss you guys, and I can see right now why. Are you gonna bring it back weekly, or you're gonna keep it once a month?
Scheduling wise, I wish we can do it every week, honestly. I don't think that's going to be possible. Maybe we'll do it like twice a month or something, but that we have to get on to first doing it once a month, because we kind of fallen off. I think we've missed maybe the last month and a half. Philip?
Yeah, I would like just to counterpoint and say, I feel like we should do it twice a week instead.
Twice a week. Okay.
Ooh. Well,
I feel like we should do
show. Come on, Philip.
I feel like Tuesdays and Thursdays, we should just clear our schedules and just do 3-hour shows. What do you think?
Well, hey, are you expecting another pandemic? Is this what's going to happen? Are we going to shut down again?
No, we are the pandemic. Come on.
Yes.
Let's shut everything down.
Well, all right. Listen, we got to also think about like viewership. And I'm gonna be I know you're joking. No, I know Philip's joking, but like in 2 weeks, Thursdays are fine, but like we can't compete with Monday night and Thursday night football. I mean, you can't.
Come on, there is nothing like being at 1 hour and 59 minutes into a show and looking up to the corner of the StreamYard thing. It just shows that like 3 people are watching.
Yeah, that's great.
It's just like, great. Oh, it's like it's like into your veins. It's just like, wow, we are just yelling into the abyss right now. Like no one is listening. That is a great feeling.
Honestly, I love that. I love that sometimes it's just Blake who is watching us, and that's it.
Does Carla know about Blake? Did we tell him about Blake?
We'll get into Blake in a little bit, but we I lost my train of thought. I talk about Blake. Yeah, I forgot.
Yes, go ahead.
Blake's a near and dear friend of ours from Australia. I used to be part of a program. A while back, when I first started into this thing, that with some other people, and Blake was, I guess, a fan of that show that I was on. So then when I started mine, I would see his name pop up
There
every
he
week
is.
in the comments. Yeah. And Blake is Dan Blackyard there. That's his Blake. Blackroyd. Yeah. Sorry. So Blake would constantly he would watch, and we've had him on our show, I think, a handful of times. He's a super fucking cool guy. Love him to death. I still have a box for him in my closet that I'm trying to ship to him to Australia, but it's going to take like 3 years, apparently, when I took it to the post office.
Huh?
And Mel, I'm so sorry. I have yet to send you that little Brett Favre figurine. I found it today because I'm missing. I've been missing so much stuff.
Do they have a post office out there?
Yeah, they do. But my current situation in my house, like our closet is full of like Christmas toys. So they don't go into my closet because that's where I have like all my computers or whatever else in there, all my dad's stuff, you know.
Sniper Mel have a box too?
She does have a box. Yes, it's in the closet.
I think I have a box too right now, Jemo.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm wondering.
She should. Carla needs a box.
Yeah.
Please.
Everybody's
I
getting a box.
wonder what's in the box.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's there's lots of boxes over there. So I can't really bring it out because we're running out of hiding places. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. Are you still in Boston, Jemo?
I am, unfortunately, yes.
You're next to me. Did you
Where
go
are-
to
oh,
the
you-
fantasy to Scotfish this year?
No, I did. No, I did it 2 years ago at Lansdowne Tavern. On the other one I did online. But you're what, New Haven, right?
I teach in New Haven. I live in
Okay.
Farmington, Connecticut. But sometimes we go to Mass and Boston, and you're so close to us. You're not that far.
Listen, next time you're coming down this way, message me. I'll send you my phone number directly.
Definitely.
And let me know. And if I'm working at either establishment, so I run 2 establishments. And if you're in town and if you're close to one of them, come. I will take care of you for sure.
That's amazing.
You and your better half and your lovely daughter there. Bring them all. Yeah, no problem. I got
That's
you.
a deal. That would be
Yes.
great. That's lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's talk about your favorite memory from your time in Chicago, Jemo, because I'm talking to you right now. So can you share a favorite memory from your time in Chicago?
I have some that I can remember. I have 2 that kind of stick out for me a little bit. One, my first one probably is near and dear to me just because I think this was probably the most proud I've seen my parents of me, I guess, is performing live at the Metro with like, I don't know, a couple hundred people there. And I had them sitting in the balcony in a VIP section area. And then, I could see them, from with the lights and everything, and announce them to the crowd, and I'm like, oh, there's my folks, and that stood up and he did his thing and everything like that. So that was definitely a very fond memory for me, is seeing how proud, because I definitely did not make them proud 99% of the time. No. So that one time to see both my mom and dad like smiling from ear to ear, it felt nice. The other time was probably at Philip's house there's probably numerous times at Philip's house. New Year's Eve. I think the day after New Year's Eve, I think took turns sleeping in the bell closet because both of us worked together at the hotel.
Oh, I know the New Year's Eve you're talking about.
Yeah. And both of us would sleep on people's luggages, and we would take turns, like we'll knock on the door because you needed a key to get into the store where we stored the luggage. So we would take, hour naps, and we would rotate it, so we'd watch each other's back. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we hadn't slept. We had 2 cars. There was 4 of us. We met at the McDonald's drive-thru right by the hotel to get like Egg McMuffins or like whatever we needed to like get our heads right, because we'd been up all night doing bad stuff.
Yeah. And then one other quick. I don't know. Phil can probably talk to you more about this one, but one memory that really sticks out for me is when Philip set a woman on fire at one of his parties.
What?
Yeah.
You need to tell me the story, Philip.
And I'm the bad guy with all the tattoos, right? I'm the bad guy.
Let's hear that.
I didn't kill him. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Home run, buddy. Home run.
Yes, I did set a woman on fire at my house, but she is fine. She's fine. She's
Okay.
married. She has kids. Like we're
Give
good
me her
friends.
phone number, Philip.
Oh, this is dark, man. Why? Really? This is so complicated.
I love seeing you under pressure, man. It makes me so happy because you're always very cool, calm, and collective. But getting
All
a
right.
little razzled is always
as quick as I can. At the hotel, one of the sales managers had she had like a seizure in the lobby because she was epileptic.
Oh,
This is terrible. And she got like, the ambulance came, they took her out, and it was like very public, and it was embarrassing. And I was like, what can I do for her? I don't know her that well. She just moved to Chicago from Michigan. And I was like, I knew that she loved the TV show Lost. This is when the TV show Lost was like in its last stages. I was like, and the finale was coming up. And I was like, well, me and my wife host a finale party. Like, we'll watch the show.
yes.
I'll invite this poor lady who had this embarrassing episode at the hotel. She wasn't really well liked. She was kind of awkward. Stephanie, right, Jemo? You remember her?
Yep.
And so we invited Jemo, we invited Stephanie, we invited a few people from the hotel, we invited a few people who didn't know them. It's like a good crew. It was like 10 people. It's in the middle of the summer. We'll go in the backyard, we'll grill some stuff, and then we'll go in and watch the last episode of the amazing TV show Lost, which wasn't that amazing, let's be honest. But so we went outside. We'd been day drinking. And I had this, there was like this ceramic like candle that like burned. It was like napalm. It was like, it wasn't like it wasn't like a wick. It was like a gel that was burning. It was like a burning gel. And it was like there. It was hot. And it was in the middle of the table. And I was sitting next to Stephanie. And I went to move the napalm thing, and someone said, like, don't put it on the ground. Your dog's down there, because our lovely dog was on the ground. And I kind of like jerked, and like this flaming gel napalm like flew out of the thing all over Stephanie's leg, and she was on fire.
I'm sorry to laugh. That was the greatest thing.
And she and I both jumped up. She was on fire, and she jumped into the grass of our backyard, and started rolling, which was brilliant. And someone had a big thing of water, and I grabbed that, and I went over, and I like poured it on her leg, which was on fire. And her and her friend from the sales department and their husband took her to the hospital. And like the rest of us were just like sitting there.
She got twice to the hospital because of you.
Yeah.
What?
That party was over real quick.
Well, it wasn't. We all just sat down and started eating, being like, what are we gonna do? And then we all watched Lost.
Without her.
Which was terrible. Without her, I was getting texts
You
being
got
like,
lost. I'm so sorry.
The funny thing is about this, like, we'll fast forward past some of this stuff. Every year on the anniversary of me setting her on fire, I would send her a message being like, Stephanie, I'm so sorry I set you on fire. And that went for a few years. And then she got married On what day?
Oh, no way.
The
The
you
day I set her on
fire.
fire. And I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
Wait, does she know this?
I
has
don't
to
know
know
if she
this.
knows it, but I stopped because I was like,
Oh my
her
God.
wedding anniversary is this also the same anniversary of the day I set her on fire, and I would write her every year. It was like 5-6 years, and then she got married
You can't
on
write
the
her now.
same day, and I was like,
Oh my
I'm
God,
good.
I
I'm
can't.
done. I'm out.
I can't with you. Brian, any
Wow.
story? Do you live in Chicago or somewhere else, Brian?
No,
I
no,
can't with this
no.
too. No story from Chicago.
That one I've never heard, Philip. Oh my G.
It was dark,
Yeah.
man.
That was good.
Oh, poor Stephanie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm
She's got
serious.
beautiful kids, man. Her leg is healed up real well. It looks good.
I mean, she got married, Brian, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, do you think she knew the date when she set the wedding? Like
I
you
wonder.
know the date.
Serious?
Like,
Well, I'm sure she did. Philip would have texted her. Hey, I burned you.
well, wait a minute. So she got married, so you still don't want to text her? Like now you can say happy anniversary, I
Now,
guess.
did you text her when she did get married, though? Did you know? That
No, I saw it on Facebook and I was like,
Okay.
oh my God, like this is
Okay.
amazing. Like I'm done. My responsibility of apologizing every year is
Son.
over. I kept apologizing every year, but like, do you know what it's like to send an apology that says, like, I'm so sorry I set you on fire? Like you don't want to have to do that every year. That's
So
I
my
bet she
question to
didn't. I
you-
bet she didn't have candles at her wedding.
I don't think she did, Brian. But my question to Philip, did she ever respond to your messages?
Oh yeah, she was very kind. She's a lovely person. She was always like, "Thank you so much. Like, life is good. I'm fine now.
Okay.
The scars are healing." It's
What
just
did she
like
get?
a little strip on her back of her leg. It's like
Oh my God.
where she got.
No, I don't think
set
so,
on fire.
JC. No Napoleon candles. Nope. Brian, any story like that?
No, but no, not fire, but let's just say fluids. We can talk about fluids because
Let's talk about fluids.
there was this one time that Joe and I were working at the establishment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of bad, but we got
good.
over it. But so
You can talk about it. Go
Jemo
ahead.
was the manager, I was the bartender, and he had to stay overnight because they were upgrading one of the POS, something with the POS. And he's like, listen, he goes, I gotta be here till like 3 a.m. So the hotel's gonna be like, don't go home. I got a room. So he's like, now we were allowed to have shift drinks after work until me.
Yeah.
And so he's like, Brian, he goes, you know what? He goes, I gotta stay. He goes, you can stay at the room. He goes, we'll have a few drinks. So we had this new beer that was, and I wanted to try it. And I'm like, all right, perfect opportunity. It was like a whiskey bourbon beer. And I was like, all right, well, if you just have that, I wanted to taste it because I'm like, all right, it was a craft beer that came in. So I'm like, well, I was curious. So I wanted to taste that. So I had that. Then I had some wine. Then we had some other drinks. And there was a couple of our co-workers with us. They left and it was just Jemo and I. And between the concoction of that awful beer, which I'll never eat. I haven't even seen that beer anymore. So I don't even know.
I think we polished off a bottle of tequila that night too.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We did. We kept,
A lot of mix.
There was a lot of
and then so I'm stumbling through, and like we had an open kitchen, like you could see the kitchen from the dining room, and the bathroom was right to the right. So I'm like, I feel sick. I gotta go to the bathroom, and I made it to the bathroom, made it to the stall, but didn't make it to the toilet, and it just went everywhere. And instead of like stupid me, like instead of trying to go grab a towel and clean it up, I just walked away, didn't tell Jemo. And then the next morning he's like, yeah, Brian, the hotel manager's like wanted to know what happened last night. And then Jemo's like, you couldn't have just go outside. You couldn't have just went outside. I'm like, I probably should have, but I thought I could make the bathroom, and
I didn't.
It was basically, so my boss came in the morning like at 6 a.m. and he ends up seeing like the houseman, the guy, like the housekeeper guy.
Yeah.
He's passing, what was his name? I forget, the housekeeper.
I forget his name. He
my
wasn't
boss.
but...
No, he was cool, but my boss is going in the bathroom. As they're crossing each other, the little guy tells my boss, somebody just threw up there. I got to clean this shit. So he's pissed off. Sean, my boss, knows I was there that night because I had this whole, reset of a system to do. So he went looking at the tapes to see what happened. And then he asked me about it. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't rat this guy out. But I'm like, I know he saw the tape. I'm like, maybe Brian had something. I don't know. So I had to write Brian up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it was
crazy.
The most awkward thing that I ever had to do to anybody.
And then you were like, do you want to be on my YouTube show?
Yeah.
So, guys, I know that it's almost like it's more than 1 hour, but I don't want to stop. I want to continue for a couple more questions. So
Sure.
what advice would you give to someone looking to follow your footsteps?
Don't do it. Don't do it. No. I guess, I don't know. If I were to tell myself, I mean, I'm nobody really to give anybody any sort of good advice. Just follow whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Make the show, make this whatever you want it to make. You want to talk about potato chips or fantasy football or whatever. Find what you love and do it, I mean, and then it doesn't matter if it's one person watching, no people watching, or if you have 500 people following you or not. And that's one of the reasons I'm not on Twitter anymore. I just have Instagram. It just got too bullshit for me,
Blue Sky is good. Try it.
I may check that out. That out. But yeah, for anybody who wants to do this, just have fun with it and be yourself, that's it. And just be genuine about it. Don't be fake and try to get, some big name guests and then be, distraught that this person's not going to want to talk to you or be on your show. Who gives a shit? Move on to the next.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
And I've met some really, really amazing people on here and like people that I call friends, like JC. He's definitely love the guy to death. He's getting a Christmas card from me. So that's how much
awesome.
he means to me. So yeah.
I'm going to get a Christmas card. I'm going to get a box. What else?
Yes, you got it. You got to send me your address. Okay.
I live next to you. So
I'll just drop it off. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a drive. It's
not gonna take 3 years.
do you ever go to the casinos?
I do sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me know. Make a day out of it.
I would love that. We will talk after the show.
Of course.
How about you, Philip? Any advice you wanna?
I mean, I think what Jemo said was really, really on point. Like, really relevant to like how we operate. The only thing I would add to that is like do things that activate that part of your brain, like that creative part of your brain, like we're excited to like sit down with like a blank piece of paper and a pen and write things down and be like, what can we do here? like that's the best part of my week. That's the best part of my month when I'm like engaged creatively with people who ignite that in me. And all of y'all fit that definition. And I would just put that back on you, Carla. You're doing the show. You've done 60 something episodes. What's your favorite part about doing this show? Like you're clearly excited about it. You're good at it.
Yeah, very good.
And like it's fun to watch you do it from this point of view. Like what's your answer to that?
So I love doing the show because I get to meet people like you guys. That's what ignites the fire in me. We always, hide behind a screen, but when you talk to people, it's totally different perspective. They will show their true color. They will show who they are. And I'm a person people. I want to talk to people. I just love to be a social butterfly. So that's part of why I want to keep going with the show and learn more. Not just fantasy football. I want to learn about the person because that's what I want to to continue doing and share that about you guys to everybody else.
You're great at it. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
A plus, Carla. A plus. Yeah, and you can. The three of us have this thing where we can kind of tell. All right, is this going to be a good show? Is it going to be how is this guest going to be interacting? Because we don't know anything about any of the new guests that are coming on the show just from their social media stuff. Like personally, how are they going to react to us and everything like that? And there's been some times where people are like, all right, this person's definitely disengaged. They're focusing more on whatever the score is of the game. You can see them watching the screen and stuff sometimes, and that's fine, whatever, But you're so genuine that it
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet somebody like you, and we've met again so many other people in this fantasy football community and the artist community, other communities that are truly, truly genuine. And again, we love to call our friends now, and we keep in contacts and stuff. So it's great. Other people though, I don't care for so much, and they know.
That's an honor. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys.
No problem.
How about you, Brian? What do you want to add to that?
Well, I think like spontaneity has to have something to do with it. It has to be spontaneous. But if you say you wanted to start a podcast, okay, you got to kind of have a plan. And we kind of didn't. And as we grew, like I said earlier, and Jemo said this too, it became a job. Then we really were like, okay, now we got to figure out a plan. We got to do this. We got to set promos. We got to do this. But I think you gotta, if you really want to do this, and I see a lot of stuff on Instagram, and some stuff I really can't wait to see, and I laugh. I think you got to find your niche, and if you're passionate about, let's just say, guitar playing, all right, well, you gotta differentiate yourself from every other guy who's playing guitar. You got to do something that people are gonna want to see, they're going to want to look at, they're going to want to follow and watch. And you just got to find your niche. And if you can find something that's very creative, you can, you'll get people that are interested into it. Like there's a couple of guys that do the gym thing, and okay, I get it. All right. Well, all right. Yeah. All right. That's just like every other gym. And then there's this one guy who does he'll have he makes jokes. He'll have girls sitting on a barbell doing stuff. And it's just okay, well, there you go. Now you're different than everybody else. So it's just, you got to find your niche. You got to find your niche. And our niche is just we'll do anything. When people ask me about about the show, and they're like, well, what is it? And I'm like, well, I go, it's
one of a
sports
kind.
and entertainment. It's sports and entertainment.
I agree. Yeah.
And
That's
because I
amazing.
can't pinpoint what it is. I mean, there's times we talk about sports, but we generally talk about anything. And for us, it works. For somebody else, it won't. But you just got to find your niche and go with it. And if you like doing it, like none of us, we're not making money off this. So
Yeah.
if you want to do this, yeah, I mean, find it.
Where did you go? You put Rose. Oh my God.
He's got to take
Rose is up
Rose
there.
out.
So,
Use the
Jemo,
restroom. Yes.
someone came on the show and I think we all saw that he didn't leave a really nice message about the sunglasses. Care
Who
to
was
share
that?
why you guys put sunglasses inside? Because I'm too cool for you guys, but I have 4 sunglasses to share on the show, not just one.
Yeah,
4.
yeah. Oh, those
So
are
tell me
sharp.
a little bit,
Those are
why?
sharp right there.
Why you wear sunglasses?
Honestly, if I can turn this thing around here, actually, I'll bring this down for you so you can actually see. I'll kind of drop the curtain here a little bit. So I've got 2 of these things in front of me.
Ooh.
They're the big light umbrellas, and they're quite bright.
Yes.
So I think the first maybe couple of shows or something, I wasn't wearing glasses, and then I got the lights and all the other bells and whistles and stuff. I'm like, this is so fucking bright, I can't see shit on the screen. So hence this is why I wear the
you start
glasses.
wearing glasses.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
That's a
So-
great idea. I like it.
No, thank you.
It
Yeah,
makes you different. It makes you different too, which is
thank
really
you.
cool.
What's funny is a lot of other people, after I started doing it, they
start doing it.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
See?
they're sunglasses. I can give 2 shit. Anybody can do it. It's okay.
It's fine. This is why we do it, right? And
That's right.
if someone makes it happen in their show, it's something that we pride ourselves that we started it. So
I'm
here
very
you go.
happy that I was influenced. Yeah. So it was good. But yes.
So before we end the show, I usually have one more question for each and every one of you. Can you share a secret or something that you never shared before on any other show? Starting with Brian.
Oh. A secret?
Something that you never shared, nobody knew about.
I can't wait to hear this one.
I'm the devil right now, Brian. So.
You are, and no, I can't.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Oh, I don't know. No, you
Do it, Brian. Do it.
Do it.
You shared a lot, but we know there's more, man.
There's so much more.
Ooh.
I'll do one to break the ice for Brian.
Okay.
Maybe he'll meet me here. This is going to be terrible. I just talked about setting a young lady on fire.
I know.
I've talked on our show about the time I had a bike accident and I had to get stitches in my penis. Like, like I am an open book. I will talk about anything. But here's something I haven't talked about on the show, and it's a thing I think about a lot. I was I don't know what, maybe 7 or 8, and breakdancing had just become a thing. The movie like Breakin' had come out, and what was the other one? There was another breakdancing movie set in like South Bronx, and I was really into it. I lived in the suburbs of Chicago, and me and my friends, like, we were really into breakdancing. We taught ourselves how to like do like the backspin and like the worm and shit, and we had some cardboard things that we would do it on, and we decided this will be a good idea. We'll go from door to door and we will knock on the doors in the suburbs and ask people to pay us to breakdance for them, right? And no one surprised no one wanted to pay us to do this. And then we went to one of my, this is dark, by the way. I know it sounds funny, but this gets dark. But it's me confessing a thing I haven't said before. We like no one would pay us. And then eventually there was like 4 of us. I turned to my friend's mom, my friend, and I was like, we're not making any money. Maybe we can give your mom breakdancing lessons so that she will lose weight.
Oh my God. No.
I was like 7 years old or something. And the guy I said it to said, like, got like up in my face and was like, I'm going to beat your ass or whatever. And then like I went home and like cried and just like went in my bedroom.
You started a mama joke, Philip.
I felt so much shame. I was like, and to this day, this is now 40 years later, whatever. I'm like, I still think about the time I said the terrible thing about my neighbor's mom, who was lovely, and she didn't need to lose weight. Like, she's fine. Why did I say that? That was rude. That was terrible. It was a terrible, rude thing I did as a kid, and God. I still think about it. And that's the thing not only have I never said it on a podcast or a YouTube channel, I don't think I've talked about it ever in my life. So you're welcome.
You heard it first here. Here you go.
Carla, you got that out of me. I don't know how you did it.
It's that face, Philip. It's that face.
Yes. I think so.
How about you, Jemo? Anything? Brian.
Trying not to get myself into too much trouble here. I'll give you 2.
Ooh, Brian.
Yeah.
One of them.
So what is it? Maybe 80 about 80% of my tattoos are cover-ups.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of people know that. Yeah. But I have my wife's right here now, so we're good.
Nice.
Yeah. Another secret about me that I think is going to really surprise Philip, and I can't believe that I'm going to tell the world this. Being a Chicagoan and all, I do enjoy ketchup on my hot dog.
What the fuck?
It's my deep, dark secret. I've always yelled at people. If I have a hot dog out with like Philip or with anybody, I'm never putting a ketchup on it, but I want it on that hot dog so bad. So if I'm at home, I am loading ketchup all over the hot dog. I feel bad because now my daughter has to have ketchup on her hot dog anytime there's hot dogs that we make here.
I put ketchup on my pizza. They laugh at me.
Wow. Okay. All right. It's a little different, but all right. Sure. Hey, I feel you.
Yeah.
Well, so that's living in Boston. That's the Boston, living in this area.
I've seen it here for 13 years, 14 years now. It's like, all right.
There's still some Boston people that
Philip is like shaking his head. No, I don't know you, man. I don't know you. No, he even took his glasses off. You made him take his glasses off.
Oh no, no one's seen these eyes before.
We did. Brian, we're coming back to you.
All right. Well, I guess the one that I can think of right now is another childhood one, like Philip's. It just popped into my head, and it's shit. We were probably about the same age as you, Philip. I think we were 13, and the thing was, we had a kick with the butterfly knives where you could kind of flip them around and this and that. And we were young kids, and we thought it was cool to walk around town and like flip knives and shit like that. And my friend's father caught us doing it, and he was in the driveway and he yelled at us and he was like, "You kids, you're going to get in trouble for that. You can't be doing that." And my mother was driving up the street, and she saw my friend's father like in our face yelling at him. She's like, what was going on in the driveway? What were you getting yelled at for? What did you guys do? And I'm like, oh, no. He was just talking about some kids in the newspaper that he read about that were being bad kids and running around the streets causing trouble. And I was just like, well, you know what? That's a secret.
I'm not telling
I
Mom.
didn't want to tell Ma I was running around with a knife. So
You
Mari,
knew it was wrong. You knew it was
Mhm.
wrong. Guys, I really don't want to finish this episode. It's such a fun
great.
night. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can't believe that. Like, I can't wait to see you at, I don't know, maybe Boston, maybe one day at the expo or someplace. That's just amazing. So before I conclude, Jemo, Philip, and Brian, can you please inform our audience on how they can connect with you and your social media presence?
You can just call me at 312-545-2841. That is my cell phone. Or call me anytime.
Yeah, please call him there.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's very good on the phone. He answers
I'm waiting.
often.
I'm waiting.
We've done that before. He's put his phone number on the show before. Remember chat roulette?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh,
Carla,
we gotta do that again.
You'll have to be a guest on our show if you. We would love to have you on.
Oh,
That would be my honor. Definitely. Let me know.
Thank you. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
for sure. Thank you.
I haven't not been on social media most of my life. This morning, in advance of this show, knowing that I was going to be asked this question, I signed up for Blue Sky.
yes.
And I made a couple posts. I am at Philip Stone, Philip with one L, Stone, spelled the way you spell stone, .bsky.social. So at Philip with one L, Stone. Who gives a fuck? Let's move on. What's up, Brian? I don't care.
No, I'm on Instagram at bbarrett69. So
Easy. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for joining us for
Thanks.
this episode
Thank
of The
you.
Game Changers. We hope our discussion with Jemo, Philip, and Brian provided valuable insights into their experiences and the realm of fantasy football. We're taking 2 weeks off. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. And for my next episode, it's going to be Wednesday, January 8th. I'm featuring a Zumba student of mine and a fantasy football fanatic. Her name is Gemma Carlone. She will be my special guest. So she loves fantasy football and she comes to my classes. I'm a Zumba instructor, if you guys know. And she comes to my classes and she knew that I do a pod for fantasy football and she was so excited to be part of it. So Wednesday, January 8th. Meet me here because she is, she's not into this whole fantasy football thing. So we're going to get her, hooked. I would like to express my appreciation to Evan, Iggy, JC, and the whole TSA team for their ongoing support and for facilitating this platform and sharing authentic stories like these stories tonight. Special thanks to JC for his essential contributions behind the scene. I encourage you to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, as your feedback is key for our improvement and outreach. Follow us on social media for updates on upcoming episodes and to become part of our community, the Sports Affiliation, where all are welcome. Until next time, continue challenging the game and leaving your mark. This is Carla with Jemo, Brian, Philip, and JC. Do you want to say something before we say bye?
I just want to say these guys are amazing. It's one of my favorite
They
shows.
are.
Love JC. Love you, buddy. Love you. Good
Thank
to
you.
see you.
This was maybe the best night I've had like all year. So
Yeah,
thank you for that.
it's been very good.
Great stories. Philip, you need to write a book or a couple books, maybe some fiction stories, some fiction novels. But,
About pyromania. Let's go.
So, guys, do not sign off. We will sign off and talk behind the scenes. So, bye, everybody. We hope to see you after
Thank you.
the vacation.
Thank you all. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
bye.